Hi dear audience, hope you would be fine. Today we would be discussing the poem Tiger by William Black. He was the representative poet or the initiator of the Romantic movement in the English literature. His poem, very simple poem, The Tiger, and very beautiful poem. That is a symbol of the destructive nature of God as well. While the lamb, there is another poem of him, that's the lamb. Lamb is a symbol of innocence, and tiger is a symbol of evil, furiousness, destruction, but it's with the beauty. The Tiger is a short lyric poem of 24 lines that ask without giving explicit answers, means how all perfect God responsible for innocence, means the God who can create the lamb, means lamb is a symbol of innocence. Goodness can be the creator of violence and evil, means tiger is a symbol of violence and evil. So means the God who gives who created good, he has basically adopted a very balanced approach to the nature and the universe. For example, Wordsworth was of the view that nature only has good things in it. It purifies man, it glorifies man, it gives comfort to the man. All the nature is very beautiful. He was holding like this. While his approach, William Black's approach to the nature, is very balanced ones. Where he has seen the lamb as a symbol of innocence, there he has seen the tiger as a symbol of evil and wildness and evil as well. So the divine creation means it questions are the answerable, for they search a realm together beyond human understanding. Divine creation occurs outside time and place through a being who is by definition incomprehensible and worthy of childlike, means child wonder at such questions. Means here if we talk of the narrator is in everyone, means it is asked that who is the narrator in this poem. Every human of this world is the narrator and asking the question, and is like in a childlike wonder expressed by the poem speakers before the terrible beauty of the dark and the alien reality. That William Black envisioned all reality as a duality of light and dark, means reality is all the creatures, all the universe is ununderstandable and incomprehensible to the man. So peace and violence, good and evil, and innocence and experience, they keep on going with one another. So this world is more made of dualities. This is the poem. This is the rhyme scheme of this poem as well. Tiger, tiger, burning bright. You would be see the alliteration in it, means tiger, tiger. This is the repetition of the same sound. So bright night, here is the rhyme scheme as well. Well organized rhyme scheme is there. So tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. And he has used a lot of paradoxes as well. For example, paradoxes in the phrases as well and in the themes as well. He has used personification. We would be later talking on that, where he has used personification and where he has used assonance, where he has used the lyric form. In the forest of the night, what immortal hand and eye, means he is addressing, the poet is addressing to the tiger, who is very fearful in its nature, in its appearance, but at the same time the poet wonders that how God can create such, the beauty of, still though it's violent, though it's dangerous, though it's fearful, but still it appeals to the eye of the man. And that the poet is wondering that how God, who is more a symbol of innocence, who is the more some sort of pacifying creation of the creator of the good, how he can create such a very fearful symmetry in the form of the tiger. So, what immortal hand and eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? This is a very interesting word, fearful symmetry. Symmetry is basically the name of well and good order, but that symmetry, that beauty is in a very fearful frame. So, burned in the distant deep are the skies, the cruel fire of thine eyes. This is very interesting. The cruel fire of thine eyes means violence, wildness, which can be seen in the eye of a tiger. Could her descender wings aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art, means he is describing basically means all the things, means what sort of hurt descend are the wings aspire. Wings is basically more with the concern with the aspiration to the flight. And what the hand dare seize the fire, means he is of the view that can any hand of the man seize the fire which is coming out of your eyes and your body. Means here fire is not coming directly in the physical form, means fire of fear, fire of wildness, fire of violence. So he says that no shoulder can hinder that, and means you are completely all in all the symbol of fear, afraidness, being afraid, making afraid the others. Could twist the sinews of thy heart. No one can do that. And when thy heart begin to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. Here these lines, when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, these are the example of fallen angels, means the angels who had been dropped out of the heaven, and then they also sorrowed and they start weeping. Means they water the heaven with their tears. Means as there is a theory that when the man has been expelled from the heaven, he started weeping and he was given the forgiveness. Similarly is the myth that with the Satan there were a lot of angels who have been dragged, sent out of the heaven, and therefore they ask repentance. They water the heaven with their tears, being they ask for the forgiveness to the God, and then they were delivered the forgiveness. So he's addressing that, can anything twist means turn off thy heart from furiousness. Definitely, if it is the one thing is called the instinct, means animals are bound to their instinct. You cannot change the nature of the snake. You cannot change, means myself, if I am very good master of anything, I cannot twist the instinct of the animal nature, or instinctive nature of that animal. Snake is to bite, tiger is to make afraid of the people. So he is childlike wonder, means even if the God can change your nature, change your heart, means your heart is bound to be very hard to the other animals. And when the heart begin to beat, thy heart begin to beat, it's very interesting for me. And they say anything that has a heart, mean beating heart, that have a mercy in it. But beating heart of these animals cannot have a mercy, because they cannot understand the mercy, However, in some cases we have seen that even in the stories or the fables we have seen that there was a tiger. A slave was thrown before him, but he did not eat him. But without that might be the fable. Do not trust or believe on that fable or the story. However, that was a fictional one, but in reality he says that, and even thy heart cannot, thy beating heart cannot be twisted, cannot be changed, cannot be cooled down. So did he smile his work to see thee? Now he is addressing to the God. Means that does God see or smiles when he see the wandering means wandering evil in the jungles and among the humans? Does he smile on his work or creature while seeing this? Did he who made the lamb make thee? So this making the lamb and making thee, they are two different one. Lamb is the symbol of innocence, and thee means the tiger is a symbol of evil whatsoever. I have talked a lot. And this is the poet to question, means, you know, on the end of every second or the third line, the poet is asking, putting the question mark. See in this word, thy heart, dread feet, make the lamb thee, a fearful symmetry. He is asking the questions, means he is in the sense of wonder. Questions means the question mark confirms that the situation or the poet is wondering on this situation. So he is confused. Can the God, who is the creator of innocence, who is the creator of the lamb, can create the tiger as well? Tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand and eye dare thy frame fearful symmetry? So if we see the rhyming scheme of this, you know, AA means bright, night, they are of the same one, and then I and I is the other one, and symmetry. Then it becomes B, means when the rhyme scheme changes, it changes with the form mean B, and as symmetry does not resemble to I, therefore BC. And then skies, eyes, GD, aspire, fire, FF, these are both FF. Then art, heart, GG, beat, feet, H, aspire, spears, tears, JJ, and then spears, tears, C, J, D, and D up to D is the K, and then bright. I missed the one, basically C was to be supposed to over K. Bright night, it's LL, and then I is C as at the top, means like this symmetry, and with this symmetry is CC. So if we see the structure of the poem, it has 6 stanzas in the length, and each stanza has 4 lines, means it is in the each sonnet is in the quartet line. Much of the poem follows the metrical pattern of its first line and can be scanned as trochaic. Trochaic means tetrameters, means which have, by the end of every line, it is unstressed syllable. For example, like tiger, burning bright. So this bright is by the end of the bright night, it might be the unstressed syllable. I, symmetry. So first syllable of the last word is stressed, while the second syllable or the last syllable is unstressed. That's called the this is word trochaic tetrameter. Catalectic, A number of lines, however, such as line 4 in the first stanza falls into the iambic pentameters. Usually poetry means in this form of blank verse use the iambic pentameters. Iambic pentameter is unrhymed, but in this poem only the line 4 has used the iambic tetrameter, while the rest of the poem is in the trichic pattern tetrameters. The tigers lack the narrative movements, means it suddenly asks the questions, like it is lacking narrative movement. Narrative means when you describe something one in the sequence. So all this poem is more based on the sequence of questions, sense of the wonder of the poet. If we talk of the themes of this poem, there are a lot of themes, like the themes of religious themes is about the God, means the poet is wondered that how God has created everything. He has created good and the bad, means the original stance in this poem that the God is the creator of good and God is the creator of evil as well. Means evil has also been created by the God. Means Satan, who has created the Satan? I and you haven't made the Satan. So Satan was created by God. And if we talk, we say someone says that Satan was innocent, as he could not, he was bound to his nature. Angels cannot change their nature, and this and that. Okay, we say, who created that nature? So it is said there is a philosophy that God has created evil and only he can destroy the evil. Without God, the evil cannot be destroyed. So one of the dominant themes, one of two we would be discussing over, is the theme of creation. William Black's poem The Tiger is a meditation on the creation. And this theme can be discussed both from the religious point of view and a secular one. The theme of creation is identifiable in the speaker's question that inquire as to the origin of the tiger. Twice, for example, the speaker asks, the immortal hand or the eye responsible for the creation of a tiger, a wild animal of impressive beauty. And interestingly is this, that animal who is the symbol of destruction, that is very beautiful. And as well, last day we have been in the museum. There we saw the tiger. We have been standing there looking at the beauty of that tiger for more 5 to 6 minutes. We have been wondering how beautiful, and the last word of myself was that how beautiful it is, but at the same time it was dangerous. So a ferocity and the strength could be God if the interpretation of the theme has a religious orientation. Alternatively, and here is, yes, definitely, if we always see that God is merciful, there is a theory that man keeps on doing the sins on this hope that God is the merciful, so he would be forgiving everything. Okay, we know, we have a belief that God is merciful, but we have to be fearful by the justice of the God as well. God do the justice, and justice does never takes the leniency. So therefore William Black is addressing that where the God is merciful, God is just as well. Just means justice, he does the justice. And therefore where the word is beautiful, it is having some adverse things in it itself, and there is the evil and the beauty as well. So alternatively, the creator of the tiger could be some other non-religious power like nature or evolution. It's not the so. At this time in the history, Black was living amongst some fascinating new intellectual developments. The theory of evolution was gaining momentum, just as the dominance of the Christian thought was declining. Therefore, the theme of creation is an interesting one, as it does not necessarily send the message to the readers about the powers of God that the word immortal might suggest. Immortal means God definitely he has the power. The other theme is the theme of sublime. Sublimity means how he, what is sublimity? To join two different things in a single one is called sublime. So tiger at the same time is wild and furious, he is fearful, and he is in symmetry. The sublime is another useful thematic frame for reading the tiger. The sublime, as used in the romantic context, describes the experiences, situation, places, and the things that are awe-inspiring and mysterious. Yeah, same is the tiger. It characterizes a certain kind of grandeur that is impossible to understand fully. In the case of Black's tiger, the power and the force of the animal inspire a sense of fearful awe in the observers and the speaker. The imagery of the tiger eyes, burning bright eyes, violent, coming out of his eyes. He says that the fire is coming to his mind, and even his heart is full of terror. While heart is the symbol of love, beauty, the tiger's eyes and the description of the symptoms of the fear arrest to the speaker experience of sublime. The poem Sublimity shows the poem Sublimity shows William Black's connection to the Romanticism, an artistic movement characterized by a counter-enlightenment focus on the imagination and intuitions. As a romantic poet, Black valued the practice of challenging notion of the past that he feels no longer apply or must be adopted to the new ways of thinking. Means here he is adopting the two different ways of thinking. He is thinking on the good and bad. Both the theme of creation and the theme of sublime relate to this independent method of interpreting the word in the William Black lived. Means he is interpreting the symmetry of the tiger. He is very much impressed by the symmetry, by the beauty of the tiger, but at the same time he is conscious of the fearfulness of the tiger as well. If we talk about the literary devices which he has used in the poem, so majorly, not limited to only to these, majorly he has used the alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same sound. The line tiger, tiger, burning bright, Baba, this is the repetition of Baba sound, which is repeated in the poem to begin. The first and the last stanza is probably the best example of alliteration. The repetition of the tiger, tiger, and the double tata sound followed by two Baba sound means burning bright creates a bit of intensity that never really lets up in the poem. And then there is the other, that's very technical, apostrophe. Apostrophe in the poem is that when the addresser is something who is absent, means not present. So this literary technique has been used in the poem. The narrator is talking directly to an imaginary tiger. He is asking the tiger a series of questions, but the tiger is silent. Tiger never responds in this poem. And even he says, has God made thee? Has the God who made the lamb, he has made thee? So tiger is not going to answer. It's only in the if it has been, even if the tiger even responded in one sense, in one word by the end of the poem. If he had said yes, then it would have been more in a conversation style. It would have been more in a narrative form. It should have not be using the apostrophe, even if he used for a single time. Means if the tiger say yes, means the God who created the lamb, God who has created innocence, God who has been beautiful, he has made me. If he even respond in the one word, the word yes, then it might not have been an apostrophe. But here the tiger is not responding. The tiger is a powerful creature, and the forest in his domains is in the same way. The Christian God is a powerful entity whose domain in the entirety of the creation, including the heaven. Similarly, if we see that God who has created the tiger, similarly where he has created the heaven, he has created the hell. So therefore the production of good and evil both goes to God. And if we are having charming beauties of heaven in our mind, this is the lovely approach of William Black. He says that if we are charming the cherishing memories and the scene and the landscapes of the heaven, then we should also have bear in mind the cursing landscapes and the dungeon places of hell as well. In addition to being a punctuation mark, usually apostrophe is considered as the punctuation mark as a figure of speech in which some absent or the non-existent person or the thing is addressed as if present and capable of understanding. Also known as the turning tail, averso, aversion, apostrophe are some more often found in the poetry than in the prose. An apostrophe is a form of personification that assists Bernard McGuigan describe as the rhetorical devices as a forceful emotional device most ideally used in the creative writing and persuasive essays that lean heavily on the emotional strength. However, McGuigan goes on that in the formal, persuasive and informative essays using apostrophe might seem a bit melodramatic. Melodramatic means one addressing one self-siding, saying and distracting. To provide a bit of the context, look no further than we have been using a poem that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, that is the example of a apostrophe. Therefore here tiger is absent and he is asking questions to that tiger. For example, in our childhood, we used to see this poem, that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, how I wonder what you are, how I wonder what you are. This has been the example of the apostrophe, means the poet is asking to the stars who are not close to her, but they are imaginary and they are not responding. So similarly, he has asked the question to the tiger and tiger is not responding. The other is literary technique which he has used, that is the personification. Personification means when you present something inanimate something as it is animated form. It is like a human. For example, if we say that honor kills me, honor is an abstract form, it cannot kill the man, but this is the best example of personification, where over here he has used, for example, the word what immortal hand and eye. So immortal God has been personified having a hand and eye, as they are the humans. Immortals are not in concrete form, but here he has represented as God is having a particular hand and an eye. And then this is very interesting, the cruel fire of thine eyes. Eyes, how can eyes cast the fire? But to describe the fearfulness, to describe the wildness of the animals, he has used the word cruel fire. So how can an animal cast the fire? So this is the best example of personification. Then the rhyme, trochaic tetrameter. Black tiger is an example of trochaic tetrameters with the catalyx, means the missing syllable at the end of the line. It might be the missing syllable or it might be the unstressed. And then symbolism has been used. I have already talked about the tiger is a symbol of evil. The word used to describe the tiger include burning, fire. Both suggest the fires of the hell. And black also used the fearfully or the deadly terrors to describe the feeling the tiger is associated with. When the stars with their star symbolizes angels, means who have fallen. This may denote to the fallen angels they threw their spears and went on creation of the tiger and their defeat. Means this when they saw wept on the creation of the tiger and their defeat, means those angels were very fearful when the tiger was created against them. They burst into tears. Then the language of paradox, as I have already talked, that the poet has used the paradoxes at the level of words, at the level of phrases, and in the themes as well. First we discuss the theme, how he used the language of paradox. For example, tiger and the lamb, they are opposite to one another, and he is asking the question in this poem. Though this poem is about the tiger, but he is asking a question. Means did he who made the lamb make thee? Means the God who has made the lamb, he is your creator. So in this simple sense, that he is using the tiger as the symbol of evil, and the lamb as a symbol of innocence, and on this pattern, on this paradox, he has written this poem. And if we talk about the on the phrases level, then it is one word would be positive and other would be negative one. Burning bright. From the burning, the word bright has positive connotation, while burning has negative. Forest of the night. So these have both the negative connotation. Hand and eye. And then fearful symmetry. Symmetry is the positive and fearful is negative. And then a cruel fire, definitely this is negative, and thine eyes, eye is a positive one. And then wing is to aspire, and hard descent. Descent means to go cool. And the same has been already I discussed with the lamb and the tiger. So this is all about the poem. I think it's more makes sense to you. If you have any questions regarding this, you can ask me in the comment section. I would be really available to answer those questions. Thank you very much.